A 73-year-old man passed away in his sleep. For bedtime habits you must avoid after 70. Advice for elderly. Did you know that a 73-year-old man passed away in his sleep without warning? His family was stunned because just the day before, he seemed perfectly fine. There were no major health issues, no signs of distress, and everything seemed normal. But when they went to wake him up the next morning, he had peacefully passed away in his sleep. What went wrong? Could this have been prevented? This story highlights a harsh reality that many seniors face. Certain bedtime habits after the age of 70 can put your health at serious risk. The scary part is that most people don't even realize that their nightly routines could be silently affecting their health. From heart issues to strokes, these risks could be quietly building up over time without any obvious symptoms until it's too late. In this video, we'll explore 4 bedtime habits that those over 70 should avoid. These might seem harmless at first, but they can have a significant impact on your overall health and longevity. By the end, you'll understand how simple changes to your routine can make a world of difference in how you sleep and how you feel when you wake up. Stick with me until the end, because the last habit is something that many seniors unknowingly do every night and it could be putting their health in danger. Let's dive into the first risky habit you need to stop doing for a healthier night's sleep. 1. Eating heavy meals too close to bedtime, the hidden dangers. It's a habit many of us have had for years, eating a big meal before bed. It seems like no big deal, especially if you've been doing it for most of your life. But after 70, your body doesn't process food the way it used to, and eating heavy meals too close to bedtime can be one of the most dangerous habits for your health. When you eat a large meal right before bed, your body is still working hard to digest the food while you're trying to sleep. The digestion process elevates your heart rate, increases stomach acid production, and disrupts your body's natural ability to enter deep, restorative sleep. This means instead of your body focusing on relaxing and healing during the night, it's still processing food and trying to deal with any digestive issues, like acid reflux. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with heartburn or discomfort in your chest, this could be directly linked to eating too late. For older adults, chronic acid reflux can lead to more serious conditions, like aspiration pneumonia, which is a dangerous lung infection caused by inhaling food particles into the lungs. Here's a story that might resonate with many. Imagine enjoying a late-night snack, maybe a greasy burger or a large plate of pasta. You feel satisfied at first, but as you lie down to sleep, you start to feel discomfort in your throat, a burning sensation rising up into your chest. It's not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. The solution is simple: try to finish eating at least 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. If you need a snack, opt for something light and easy to digest, like a handful of nuts, a small piece of fruit, or a cup of herbal tea. By making this change, you'll improve your digestion, reduce acid reflux, and protect your heart and overall health. Your body will thank you by giving you the deep, restorative sleep it craves. 2. Sleeping in a room that's too warm, a silent health hazard. When the weather gets colder, it's tempting to bundle up in warm blankets or crank up the thermostat to create a cozy sleep environment. But if you're over 70, sleeping in a room that's too warm can be more harmful than you might think. As we age, our bodies lose their ability to regulate temperature as efficiently as they once did. Sweating becomes less effective, and it's easier for our body temperature to rise, especially during sleep. When your body overheats, your heart has to work harder to cool you down, which puts unnecessary strain on your cardiovascular system. This is especially dangerous for seniors with heart conditions, high blood pressure, or circulation issues. Let's take the example of Frank, a 74-year-old retiree who loves reading in bed before sleep. He keeps his bedroom at a comfortable 75 degrees Fahrenheit, thinking it's perfect. But night after night, he wakes up feeling sweaty, groggy, and unrested. What Frank doesn't realize is that his warm sleeping environment is preventing his body from entering deep, restorative sleep. This leaves him feeling exhausted in the morning, and over time, it increases his risk of heart strain and dehydration. So, what's the ideal temperature for sleep? Experts recommend keeping your bedroom between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit for optimal sleep quality. If that feels too cold, you can layer with breathable cotton blankets instead of heavy, synthetic ones that trap heat. A small fan or opening a window for fresh air can also improve air circulation and help maintain a cooler, more comfortable sleeping environment. By making your bedroom cooler, you promote better sleep, protect your heart, and wake up feeling refreshed and mentally sharp. 3. Drinking too much liquid before bed, the consequences you didn't know. Drinking enough water during the day is essential for good health, but drinking too much right before bed can lead to major disruptions in your sleep. As you age, your bladder becomes less efficient at holding urine, and drinking a large amount of liquid before bed increases your chances of waking up throughout the night to use the bathroom. But the real risks go beyond just disrupted sleep. Waking up multiple times during the night can cause dizziness or even fainting due to postural hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure when you stand up. For older adults, this can lead to dangerous falls and injuries. Additionally, frequent nighttime urination, known as nocturia, disrupts your body's production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. When you wake up frequently, your body thinks it's time to get up, making it harder to fall back asleep and enter deep stages of sleep. This can lead to long-term sleep deprivation, which negatively affects your immune system, blood pressure, and even cognitive function. The key is to adjust your fluid intake. Drink most of your fluids earlier in the day, and taper off your intake by late afternoon. If you're thirsty in the evening, take small sips rather than drinking a full glass of water or juice. Avoid caffeinated beverages, which can act as diuretics and make the problem worse. 4. Sleeping in the wrong position, a common but harmful mistake. Many of us don't think twice about our sleeping position, but after 70, it can have a significant impact on your health. Sleeping in the wrong position can lead to breathing problems, poor circulation, and even increase your risk of heart failure or stroke. When you sleep on your back, gravity can cause your tongue and throat tissues to collapse into your airway, leading to obstructive sleep apnea. This condition, where your breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep, increases the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. Many people don't realize they have sleep apnea, but it can silently affect your health night after night. To improve your sleep quality and protect your heart, sleep on your left side. This position helps improve circulation and reduces strain on your heart. If you find it hard to stay on your side, use a body pillow to keep you in place. Elevating your head slightly with a supportive pillow can also help open your airways and reduce the risk of breathing disruptions. Making simple changes for better sleep and health. The good news is that these risks are preventable by making small, simple adjustments to your nighttime habits. By eating earlier, sleeping in a cooler room, adjusting your fluid intake, and choosing the right sleeping position, you can improve your sleep quality, protect your cardiovascular health, and enhance your overall well-being. Take a moment to reflect on your current bedtime habits. Which of these changes can you make tonight to improve your sleep and health? Even small adjustments can lead to big benefits over time. Remember, it's not just about avoiding dangerous habits, it's about creating a safe and healthy environment that supports your body as it ages. By making these small tweaks, you'll be setting yourself up for better sleep, more energy, and a healthier future. Edward and Margaret, a story of health transformation through simple changes. Edward and Margaret had been married for over 50 years. They were high school sweethearts who had built a life together, raised children, and worked hard to secure a comfortable future. As they entered their early 70s, however, they began noticing changes in their health that were hard to ignore. Edward, a retired engineer, had always been the picture of health. He walked every day, ate a reasonably balanced diet, and rarely took any medication. Margaret, on the other hand, had always been a bit more cautious with her health, often reminding Edward to take it easy. But in their later years, both Edward and Margaret were experiencing some new challenges. They were waking up feeling more tired than they should, despite getting what they thought was enough sleep. Margaret was dealing with some mild joint pain, and Edward, who had always prided himself on his good health, began to experience heartburn and discomfort after meals. The most troubling sign, though, was that Edward began having more frequent incidents of dizziness, particularly when he got out of bed at night. One evening, after a particularly bad night's sleep, Edward sat down at the kitchen table and said to Margaret, "I think we need to talk about this. I've been feeling off lately, and I'm starting to think it's more than just aging." Margaret, ever the supportive wife, nodded. She too had noticed the changes, but she hadn't connected the dots. They both brushed it off at first as just part of growing older, but it was becoming harder to ignore. So, they made a decision: they needed to take action. The turning point: seeking advice and understanding the risks. The couple decided to visit Dr. Patterson, their family doctor, for a routine checkup. When Dr. Patterson asked Edward about his lifestyle habits, he mentioned that he had a late dinner most evenings and that he'd gotten into the habit of eating larger meals closer to bedtime. Margaret, who had always been more health conscious, had been encouraging Edward to make changes for some time, but he had dismissed it as nothing to worry about. Dr. Patterson was quick to point out that this was likely contributing to Edward's heartburn, disrupted sleep, and dizziness. He explained that after the age of 70, the body's ability to digest food efficiently slows down, and eating heavy meals too close to bedtime can cause acid reflux and even affect blood pressure during the night. He also recommended some simple changes to help them both improve their sleep quality and overall health. One of the biggest changes Dr. Patterson suggested was altering their evening routine. Specifically, he advised that Edward and Margaret stop eating large meals 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. Dr. Patterson also recommended they lower the temperature in their bedroom to improve sleep quality and avoid overheating, which could contribute to heart problems. We need to adjust to the changes that come with age, Dr. Patterson explained. Your metabolism has slowed down, and your body is working differently now. What worked for you in your 40s and 50s won't work the same way anymore. Making simple changes, adjusting their bedtime habits. Edward and Margaret took Dr. Patterson's advice seriously. They started by making small changes to their evening routine. They began eating earlier in the evening, finishing their dinner by 6:30 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. This simple change made a noticeable difference in the way they both felt. Edward no longer woke up with heartburn, and his stomach felt much better in the mornings. They also started opting for lighter, easier to digest snacks before bed, such as a small handful of nuts or a cup of herbal tea rather than heavier meals like pasta or fried foods. But they didn't stop there. Margaret, who had always kept their home comfortable, took a close look at their bedroom environment. She realized that they had been keeping their room too warm, which was making their sleep less restful. Edward had often complained of waking up feeling sweaty and groggy, but they hadn't made the connection to the temperature in the room. After some research, they decided to make their bedroom cooler, setting the thermostat to around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which experts recommend for optimal sleep quality. They also swapped their thick blankets for lighter, breathable cotton ones. Edward, who had always been a little skeptical of these kinds of changes, was amazed at how much better he slept after lowering the temperature. He no longer woke up feeling overheated or restless. Instead, he felt more rested and had more energy during the day. The benefits of a better sleep routine, a healthier, more energized life. Within just a few weeks of making these adjustments, Edward and Margaret both noticed a significant improvement in their health. Edward no longer had the late-night heartburn that had become a regular part of his routine. He was sleeping more soundly, and his mornings were far less sluggish. Margaret's joint pain had also improved, likely due to better sleep and reduced inflammation from the changes they made to their diet and environment. But the benefits didn't stop at sleep. They began to feel more emotionally connected and energized throughout the day. Their conversations were more relaxed, and they felt like they had more quality time together, which was an added bonus. Their relationship had always been strong, but now it felt even better, thanks to their renewed focus on health and well-being. One of the most significant changes came when they both realized how much their health had been negatively impacted by simple habits that they hadn't given much thought to. The idea of eating earlier and adjusting their sleep environment didn't feel like a huge sacrifice. It just took awareness and a little effort to make things better. Edward reflected on the fact that, had they continued with their old habits, they might have never realized the risk they were taking. Sometimes, it's the small things that make the biggest difference, Edward said one morning over breakfast. We were just going through the motions without realizing how much those bedtime habits were affecting us. Changing a few simple things really made a difference in how I feel. I can't believe it took us so long to figure this out. The ripple effect, sharing their story and helping others. Edward and Margaret's journey didn't just impact their own lives, it also encouraged others in their community to rethink their nighttime habits. Margaret, who had always been the more health-conscious of the two, began sharing their story with friends at church and family gatherings. She found that many seniors were unknowingly making the same mistakes, eating late at night, keeping their rooms too warm, and drinking too many liquids before bed, and they hadn't connected the dots to their health issues. Through word of mouth, Edward and Margaret's story spread, and they began receiving messages from other seniors thanking them for sharing their experiences. One friend, Joan, a widow in her 70s, mentioned that she had struggled with disrupted sleep for years, waking up frequently throughout the night. After hearing about Edward and Margaret's changes, Joan decided to make similar adjustments to her routine, including drinking less fluid before bed and making her bedroom cooler. A few weeks later, Joan reached out to thank Margaret, saying, "I can't believe how much better I'm sleeping. I had no idea those little changes could have such a big impact." A lifelong lesson, the importance of awareness and small adjustments. Edward and Margaret's story is a powerful reminder that we don't always realize how our daily habits, especially those at bedtime, can silently impact our health, particularly as we age. Small adjustments can lead to significant improvements in sleep, energy, and overall well-being. It's easy to dismiss certain habits as harmless, but understanding their effect is key to living a longer, healthier life. Their story also highlights the importance of not waiting until a health scare or incident occurs to make changes. By being proactive and paying attention to the habits that affect their sleep, Edward and Margaret took control of their health and well-being. Now, as they enter their 80s, they're not just surviving, they're thriving. They feel healthier, more connected, and more aware of the changes their bodies are going through. And they continue to share their journey with others, helping to spread the message that simple, mindful adjustments to one's bedtime routine can have a lasting, positive impact. As we've seen today, small changes in your bedtime habits can make a huge difference in your overall health, especially after 70. By adjusting your routines, whether it's eating earlier, making your bedroom cooler, or being mindful of your fluid intake, you're taking proactive steps to protect your heart, improve your sleep, and enhance your overall well-being. These changes don't have to be drastic, but they can have a lasting impact on your health and longevity. I truly hope that this video has inspired you to think about your own bedtime habits and how you can make positive changes. Remember, it's never too late to start taking better care of yourself, and every small adjustment adds up to a healthier, more vibrant future. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on living a healthier, more fulfilling life as you age. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continue creating content that informs and empowers you. I'd love to hear from you. What changes will you be making to your bedtime routine? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Let's start a conversation and learn from each other's experiences. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you being here. Your health and well-being are important, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this journey with you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.